and welcome to the Legit Real Estate Podcast. I'm TJ Shofi. I'm not going to have my eyes on the camera because I'm on 295. I'm here today with, as always, Holly Rigoli. Holly, good morning.
Good morning.
You look
Commitment
lovely
to
as always. I love when your hair is straightened. I think it's a good look for you.
Well, thank you. I actually finally got it done last week for the first time in like a year and got rid of some of
Nice.
my grays and fixed my roots. So I'm
I,
feeling better. Taking my daughter for a
I got to say,
haircut today.
I never noticed any grays. I feel like you don't have gray hair.
I cover it with blonde highlights. And then
Nice.
I started realizing that the grays were coming in more and I really needed to touch them up.
Nice. Well, I'm looking at myself right now in the camera, and I look kind of like a strawberry. So I
Yeah.
don't know if it's I just got out of a hot shower or if it's because like my blood pressure is hovering around 190.
I'm really
So
hoping it's the shower because, again, we don't want you to die on the podcast. Though it would get us a lot of views.
it would. Listen, whatever I can do for the program, uh, including stroking out on the highway while recording, I think that would put us. That might get you some views.
Yeah, no, I really would rather you, and I'm sure your wife and kids would rather you not stroke out.
I'm sure. So I've got the meds. I gotta just remember to take them.
Oh, goodness gracious. Well, let me tell you a little bit about 5 minutes before we were recording where I was. I was searching for my phone because I have ADHD brain so bad. On our show today, want to talk about winter and winter in real estate. So I had come up with a list of tips that I'm actually going to include and attach on our podcast about winter in real estate kind of tips. And as I was reading through them, I was like, oh shit, let me go check and make sure I did this because I know to shut off my water lines to my water spigots in the winter, but I never really thought about disconnecting the hoses. And as I'm reading, it says you should disconnect the hose because it's a good way to trap water inside your spigot and cause it to burst for sure.
You
So,
know,
yeah.
I think I did. I think my hose is connected because I stepped over it the other day. Yep,
Yeah,
my hose is connected.
one
Mhm.
of mine is definitely connected, the one that goes out to the chicken coop. But I rechecked all my spigots to make sure I had all the shut off inside the basement this morning. But I did not go and unhook that hose, and I hook up the hose on my deck by my pool is also still connected, and I did not go and disconnect that. But anyway, I was looking for my phone so that I could have it with me and could not find my phone. And I found it in the basement because as I had been researching, I ran down to the basement to check it and then I put my phone down and then I couldn't find my water. I'm a hot mess. Every morning, something's got to go missing. But I used to have a Samsung Galaxy watch that I could just push the Find My and find my phone. I guess I would have to do that usually on a daily basis, but my watch broke and I need to get it fixed. So I was off to find my phone on my own.
It's a good time for winter tips since I'm assuming most of the people listening are in our northeast region, but the whole country is about to get buried in like feet of snow.
Mm,
And I'm
I
not gonna lie, I'm looking forward to it. Let's do it.
um so what I'm not looking, I think I'm actually going to call the plow guy to go take care of my multifamily. So the storms we've had so far this year haven't been bad. And my house that I have it's a 4 unit is only like 10 to 15 minutes away from my house. So I've been going there with my very strong and much bigger than me son to take care of that. And I have a nice snowblower over there. However, my son took apart my snowblower at my house about 2 years ago and never figured out how to put it back together. So we've been doing our driveway over here by hand.
Oh,
It's not fun.
so in the garage the other day, there was a package. I thought it was delivered to the wrong house. It was a snowblower, but it was an electric snowblower. And I made fun of the thing. I'm like, why did you buy this like little like child toy? And she said, well, it was regular $189 and she got it for $39.
Oh, wow.
I said, well, you got it for $39 because it's a toy. I'm like, this is not this is thing is not going to do anything. When I tell you this fucking thing is unbelievable. It snowed last weekend. This thing, I got through my driveway in about 15 minutes and it was like down to the pavement. I absolutely love this thing. I absolutely love it. So
So
I'll
where
put
is
a
it
code
still
in.
on sale?
I can ask her. I doubt it. It's been in my garage for a week, so I don't know how long sales last. I don't shop.
Yeah, I would love something because I have when we first moved out to the woods, the first thing we bought was a tractor. The second thing we bought was a big giant snowblower because I do have a good sized driveway. So earlier this week it was MLK Day and my daughter, I was like, "Hey, do you guys want to go sledding? Because we found I have you ever been down to the Rhode Island desert?
No.
So it's like the sand dunes in I think it's like Western Coventry, what oh, I don't know, somewhere down there. And so we found out about it from her friend, and we went down there a few weeks ago, and there was barely any snow on the ground, but there's hills everywhere. So we managed to find a hill with snow on it, a little bit of snow. And went. And then Monday we knew we had all this snow. So I picked her friend up, her boyfriend, and we went down there and they just had a blast. I have a toboggan that was my mom's when she was a kid, and she gave it to me. And we went down there. There's hills everywhere. So there could be 200 people there, and everybody's got a hill to sled on. Oh, but my leading up to that, what I meant to say, because my brain is scattered. In order to get over there because of our schedules that day, we all got up at 5 o'clock in the morning, even though I got up at 5, my husband got up at 5. He had to get out the driveway, and his back has been bothering him, and he's like, I need help with this driveway. I was planning on going out to help him anyway, but he's like, you got to get these kids up. So I got them up by 5:30, and all four of us were out there shoveling the big ass driveway. And then I took my son to my house in Connecticut and we shoveled that because we had a good maybe 4 or 5 inches. But we shoveled all of that
Oh
and
dear.
then we went sledding. I was exhausted.
The only thing with this one, you got to run it on an extension cord, and my extension cord just gets to the end of the driveway with a little bit, but the plow guy hooked me up. Um, if you have like a long driveway, you need a longer cord, and it's only 13 inches wide, which 13 inches is a lot bigger than I thought it was, but it takes a lot more passes than like a real snowblower because it still does look like a toy. It
Mhm.
looks like a friggin' dust buster when it's in the corner of the garage, but she did a good job, man. I named her Susie. Me and Susie are ready for the weekend.
That's awesome. I would love to get something over at my house, at least for my driveway. I am gonna break down and call the plow people for my house in Connecticut because we're supposed to get what, 9 inches of snow?
Right now, actually, as I'm talking to you, I see her texting me pictures of a map, but I'm not going to get off the podcast. Bad enough I'm driving. But they're saying we might get up to 24 on some models. So
Oh, lovely. Lovely.
24,
Yeah.
20, 24 is a problem.
Yep, because I am oh yeah, so driving in the snow. I don't normally mind driving in the snow, right? I as long as there's not other people on the road that are driving like crazy, like I like to take it slow. I think it's peaceful and fun. So
Mm-hmm.
Sunday it started really coming down. Now we were at church because we do a youth mass on Sundays and my daughter's in the choir and my son had to altar serve. So normally she has CCD, but they didn't have it this weekend because of the long weekend. But my son's like, "Hey, can I drive home?" And I'm like, "You know what? He's still got his permit." And I was like, "Well, there's not a lot of cars on the road. We'll take Route 6, which is technically a state kind of like quasi highway. It's pretty well maintained. We'll take it slow." And he did great most of the way home until he went to turn on the street before my street and he didn't it was off of like another pretty main road, but it wasn't, I guess, as treated, and he didn't come to a full stop and then he started sliding as he turned and slid right into a telephone pole.
No, no. With you in the car?
Mm-hmm.
Did you lose your mind?
No, my car's only a year old, but and he kind of, you know, broke the bumper and split the grill. But it was a lesson learned. He's been kind of cocky when he's been driving lately, and I'm like, you need to slow down. It could be icy, it's raining, just take it easy. And he's got it in his head that if there's more than like 3 cars behind him, that he's going too slow and he has to go over the speed limit. And I'm like, no, just take it easy. And now ever since he did that, he said he couldn't sleep that night. He felt
Uh,
so bad. And my husband offered him to drive to rehearsal the other night, and he's like, no, that's okay.
Oh, you got to get right back to it.
He does.
No one got hurt. Did you see the guy on Federal Hill drove right through? It was snowing, but he was drinking. He got a DUI. He drove right through the Indian restaurant or the Chinese restaurant, one of those.
Oh no, I didn't see that.
He tried to stop at the light right on Atwell's, where you're gonna go left to the city or right to like the restaurants, and he just couldn't go right or left, man. He just went straight right through the restaurant, and they got it on the security cam. And snow it's no joke. I worry
No.
about the power going out. So I live behind a gate. I open my gate so that way if the power goes out, at least I can leave because I got trapped.
Yeah.
But I worry about the tenants when the power goes out. I worry about the I got a grandfather, he's 96. Like I worry about him when the power goes out. We'll be fine. Me and the kids, we're kind of hoping the power goes out. We got a lot we want to do that we're not going to do if the TV's on. But I wouldn't mind a couple of days of snow. What do you have written down there for tips?
Well, I'll mention one thing with the power going out. I get nervous because I'm 100% electric heat, right?
Yes. So here's a tip. What I did last year, I haven't done it this year, but I shovel a path to my grill. I shovel a path to the grill because I know I got propane. So if worst comes to worst, I can light the grill even if it's snowing, and we can cook some food because we're running on 100% electric also. And the fireplace will keep you warm, but I mean, I can't cook a steak on a fireplace. Like I just don't know how to do, and I don't know how to do it. So I always make sure I shovel a path to the grill just so that we can throw some burgers on there, throw some eggs on there, whatever we got to do, because you can only eat so much like cold cuts and tuna fish. If you lose power 3 or 4 days, them kids are gonna want some food.
Yeah, no, that's a good idea. So we thankfully have a wood stove, and I actually had to kick it in yesterday because it has been so cold. Now, being that I'm 100% electric, my heat like cannot keep up with the cold. I have one compressor, whatever it's called, outside, and I have an air handler that pushes heat up to my main first floor where my kitchen and my living room are. In the bedrooms, I have another air handler in my attic that services that, but we don't ever turn that one on at night because we can't sleep with the heat on. We only turn that on in the morning when we're getting ready. And then the basement has a mini split, and so we usually will put the heat down to like 64 at night on the main floor, and that's the only heat that's on. And then we put it back up to 67 during the day. We kept it on the other night because we knew it was going to be hard for it to get back up because the day before I had trouble and I had to put the wood stove on to get it warm enough. I woke up yesterday, it was 58, I want to say. We had not put it into night setback. We kept it at 67 and it couldn't keep up. The highest it would go was 58.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Running all night, like it just wouldn't keep up. So I had to get the wood stove going in order for it to go. So that gets me nervous because God forbid, you are on all electric and you lose heat. I do have tenants at my house in Connecticut. The 2 upstairs apartments are they're all electric heat, and I have had like the pipes freeze to their bathrooms where they've lost, or to their apartments where they've lost access to water. So in the cold, I always let them know at the beginning of every winter, please leave your faucets on at a drip and open up your cupboards to your pipes so that the heat gets inside of the cupboards. Yeah.
I never heard of kids freezing in a house where people were like in it.
Oh yeah. Well, you know what it is?
I feel like that's just the red of the water. But I guess if you don't turn the sink on for a day, I mean, in our house that's not realistic because it's just forever being. The water's always running in my house for whatever stupid reason.
Believe it or not, like, especially if somebody's at work during the day, right? Like if they're at work during the day and then they come home, my house is an older house and some of the lines that run up for plumbing are they're not on an entire outside wall, but they're on an outside wall that is like the basement stairs go underneath it. So the basement stairs are enclosed, but it's not a heated enclosed space. So what I had to do last year when I had a new tenant move in, I had forgotten to tell her. She moved in January and she's like, I don't have any water. And I was like, oh crap, your pipes must have froze. But not to a point where they burst. It just they were like kind of frozen in the thing. So I had to open up the alcove that goes down into the basement, and I put like a space heater down there, like and opened it to my basement so that we could try to heat that up. And then we opened our cupboards, and then I put it on like hot water, and it eventually like opened it. But it's you
It's
know
it's just the pain, and it's an inconvenience for you, and it's an inconvenience for the tenant. It's just an inconvenience all around. Yeah,
Yeah.
finally.
So some of the other things, right? So I always let my tenants know, make sure you keep your cupboards open, leave it on as a drip. Also, like my mom was telling me that that same lady, she was telling her that she was really cold. And my mom's like, well, what do you have your heat set on? She's like, well, I turned it off at night. She's like, you can't do that in the middle of winter because
That's not even a
it's
tip. That's just like being an adult. You got to know that.
I mean, if some, I don't know. So she let her know. She's like, you can't do that. You got to make sure you leave your heat on. Fortunately for me at that house, the downstairs apartments are on an on-demand hot water like boiler.
Yeah.
So, and they have radiator heat in one apartment, and my mom's apartment has baseboard heat. So because heat rises, at least there's that heat coming up from the downstairs. So God forbid something happens with the electric over there. They're also in a city and they don't lose power very often. Like I'm in the woods. I'm most likely going to end up without power at some point and have a generator, but it doesn't work the heat.
So that happens to you guys a lot.
Mm-hmm.
My my two family, we've been through this. I bought it from my grandfather. He's been living in that house for 60 years. He never lost power.
That's awesome.
Is that
Knock
unbelievable?
on wood.
Right. Yeah. Knock on wood. My house, we'll lose it for a second here and there. We've never lost it for like a day. My other house in Johnston, we would lose power for like multiple days. It was just so common that we had like a routine. Like so and so would the guy Jay across the street, we'd lose power. He'd be on the deck with a cooler. Like this is what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah. We're
Uh,
grateful we have the generator now. But it's a pain, but at least with the generator I have water and I can flush the toilets. We didn't have a generator for the first, I don't know, it's what, 7 or 8 years we lived here. We only got one because we had a major storm coming. And I remember everyone was running to pick up. I ran into friends at Lowe's because we went to go pick up a generator, and everybody and their mother was there buying generators because of this one storm we were supposed to have. So I will say, oh, so here's the thing, generators, make sure if you're running the generator, they're away from the house, not in the garage, not where the fumes can go in the house. That's a
uh,
big one, right?
someone's gonna die this year from that. Someone dies every year from that.
Oh, I'm so hyper paranoid when it comes to like smoke and carbon monoxide. I actually take they make fun of me, but I take smoke detectors and carbon monoxide detectors with me when I go places. But you know what? Um we had our Thanksgiving camp out for scouts in Cranston at a scout reservation that's there in a log cabin that's heated only by a wood stove, and there were no smoke detectors in there. I was like, this is a scout reservation where kids are coming to stay in these cabins. How do you not have smoke detectors? And I tried calling the numbers that were there to reach the camp master that was supposed to be on duty. The numbers didn't work. They were the wrong people. And so I ran out to Walmart and I got a combination detector so that I could sleep, and I put it up and I was okay. They had the boxes for them, but I guess they said they talked to the guy the next day and he said that the detectors kept going off because of the smoke from like the wood stove or the heat from the wood stove. So they just took them out.
Oh,
I'm like, that's not acceptable.
you could at least put him in the back corner of a bedroom. I mean, you could put him somewhere. You got to put him somewhere.
It's
You got to
one
put
big open room.
now.
One big open room. The one I bought worked just fine. If they're going off, they're too sensitive, then just get another one. I was like, I can't sleep in here if I don't have any kind of like signal or protection or something.
Our we have CO2 ones on the floor, and one of ours started going off. And on the it irks me to like see friggin' things on the. I hate seeing things on the floor, but I guess whatever. You gotta pick your battles. But one started going off, but it was because the battery was dying. But don't you
Mhm.
know, like that sound, it's like that's a panic sound because that CO2 stuff will kill you.
I'm so scared. And that's why literally like I had to fight with my husband and I'm so glad I pulled this one off. So I went to Cancun last year and I know other countries are just not as good as we are with keeping
Anything.
up on safety stuff, right?
Yep.
Um, so I bought a smoke detector to take with me. And he saw it, he's like, "You're stupid." He's like, and he took the box and he like hid it somewhere. But I had already taken the smoke detector out and packed it in my bag. So I was like, whatever, you can take the box and put it where you want. So I took it with me because there were I had read some stories where there was a couple that was staying in Cancun or somewhere in Mexico, and the jacuzzi, I guess, was like outside of their place, and somehow whatever was using being used to heat the jacuzzi leaked carbon monoxide into their room and they died.
So we're not going to risk it. On vacation,
No. I
you're one of a kind when it comes to that. I never heard of such a thing.
I have anxiety, and the only way to control my anxiety is to have control over the situations that I can control. So, did you know, like, New Hampshire is not as up to date on like the safety stuff as we are over here?
No, because they don't have the government middling in every single aspect of your life.
Yep. So last year, because I the ski lodge we stayed at with our scout trip, I was checking the smoke detectors in the hallways and stuff. I'm like, these smoke detectors are all over 10 years old. They're not supposed to be in place. I called the maintenance guy. I was like, these are not okay. And I didn't have a backup smoke detector. Actually, I think I might have put one on my bureau or something. I might have taken one, but I was just like, these are not okay. So this year, when I got there, I checked them, like they're all brand new smoke detectors. And one of the guys that I work with, that's in our scout troop, he's like, yeah, they replaced after we left last year, they like updated the whole system.
I'll tell you what, a hotel to update, that's in our state. If you have a hotel, you have to have them like hardwired and and like checked like every 3 months. I do
Mm-hmm.
6 unit, it's every 6 months, and that's just like as a landlord. Um, and that's one of the reasons, to be honest, I try and avoid like 5 and over because that's an added. That's not like a $30 smoke start. That's like a couple $100 every 6 months for them to come and check your alarms.
Yeah, isn't it 4 and over in Rhode Island?
4 and over, yeah. I don't
Yeah.
see 5 units though. I see six. It's either two, four, or six, really. But yeah, the six. I got a guy looking at one right now in Woonsocket, and they all have battery ones, and I'm like, this ain't gonna fly, brother. It's just not.
No, so I have my house in Connecticut that I have that's a multifamily. It's different laws in Connecticut, and it's better for me in the sense where I did not have to hardwire the whole house. I turned it from a 3 family to a 4 family. They're okay with just battery operated smoke detectors. However, when I first bought the house and I was renovating it, I bought all these smoke detectors on Amazon and they were just some no-name brand. They all started malfunctioning within like a year or two of me putting them in. So I went and then so because they were malfunctioning, my tenants just took them down and took the batteries out. I was like, well, at one point I went and checked the whole house, and I think maybe my mom's apartment had one or two smoke detectors. Every single other apartment, all the smoke detectors were down. I was like, you guys know that if something happens to this house, the whole freaking house is gonna burn down and nobody's gonna know about it.
Exactly right. And no one will know except the news in the morning.
So what I did is I went and I bought the 10-year sealed batteries from, I think it was Kitty or First Alert, whatever, like one of the good names.
Yeah,
Um, and I put stickers on all of them, installed on this date. If any issues, contact me with my name, my phone number. Do not open, sealed battery. And I put them throughout the whole house. And one thing that's good with the state of Connecticut is, or at least in the town of Killingly where my house is, before you have a tenant move into the house, the fire marshal and building inspector are supposed to come through and do a walkthrough of the apartment and make sure that everything is safe. So they check off on that stuff.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
What else you got for snow? We're gonna get a bunch.
Well, what is it called? The ice dams. Have you ever had to deal with ice dams?
No, but I can tell who has because they get the little triangle thing over the like you got. They got the little ice dam thingamabоб. I never understood it. I didn't grow up. I never even heard the word growing up. And then out of nowhere, we had one storm one year, and it was like the biggest deal.
Yep. Well, I feel like there was one year where it made a huge difference. And I remember we even went and were trying to get the snow off of the edge of our roof because it was something about this one particular year where snow would accumulate and then it would kind of melt, but then we were getting more snow. And so what's happening is like the ice dams, I guess, get underneath. And you can actually, one of the things I was reading was saying that it can get into your electrical outlets and like cause a really big problem.
Do you have a sunroof on your car?
Yes.
Okay. Undo the thing. When you have snow on the top of your car, you probably brush it off. But if you leave it up there, you can see the ice form underneath with the snow on top. So me and my kids we've been doing some little fun snow experiments, like with boiling water and shit like that. Like they're getting a kick out of it. But on top of the sunroof, when it melts during the day, it melts on the bottom, but you can see snow on top and ice on the bottom, and that's an ice dam.
Huh.
So it's kind of cool because you can actually see it happen. And in the morning, you see it, it's like rock solid. And then when I picked them up from school, it was water again and it's like dripping down. And I'm like, that's what happens like to your roof. And then that's why sometimes if you step on the brake, I'm like, if I step on the brake right now, that whole sheet is going to come crashing down. So of course we had to pull on a side road so I could do this because they had a kick out of it. And, then I'm brushing my car off with my bare hands in a dress shirt, but it is what it is. But yeah, you can see ice dam happen because your house is warm, but there's so much snow on the top, it can't melt at all. So it just starts to melt what it can. And it causes a ton of damage, tons of damage.
Yeah, no, that's a really cool like way to look at it. I'll have to look at that with my kids too. But I just remember there was that one year. So if we start getting back-to-back storms or if there's too much of a storm like taking that snow off, I do have at my in the garage at my multifamily, I have a big thing that's meant to actually pull the snow off of roofs. And I think we were using rakes or whatever over here. My roof is kind of I have a salt box cape, so the front of it is low, and I was able to take it off with that here. But then along with ice dams is also just snow load on a roof where it could actually, I was looking up some stories where some of the houses, the roof started caving in because of the snow load.
Crazy.
Isn't that nuts?
That is nuts. I can't reach my roof to get any off if I wanted to. I would need like some kind of contraption, some kind of apparatus to get up there. It's way too high. But imagine you just start seeing your bedroom like ceiling start to buckle, or you see the roof start to buckle.
Oh
Like
my
what?
God.
I worry. You know what's up? I got the solar panels up there. I just worry about. First of all, I'm not going to get any sunlight on those panels for the entire week next week. But the second thing is, you do worry because that's added weight to the roof too, and like the I don't know when they built the house how much weight they prepared for, but I'm assuming they weren't preparing for 2 feet of snow and some solar panels, so
No.
it should be interesting.
But
Now,
it says
one of these that wakes up in the middle of the night to shovel, like do you do it in increments or do you just wait till it's done?
I've done both. Depending on how much snow we're gonna get, I have done both because sometimes and how heavy it is, sometimes the snowblower won't even go through too much snow, so you gotta keep up with it. But sometimes I'll just wait until it's all over and then get it done.
Sometimes if like if we know if we're getting a foot or more of snow and we know tomorrow is going to be like a day home, right? I like to have a couple of drinks because I know tomorrow I don't have to wake up and do anything, right? Well, if I have say I have like 2 or 3 glasses of wine, I can't sleep. So I've been known to I don't sleep much anyway, but I've been known to wake up 2 o'clock in the morning or have to pee at 1 o'clock in the morning and just bust it out the
Go
shovel.
outside.
Why not? Like I don't have no one can hear me. Like why
You know
why
what?
why
That's
not?
the most peaceful time ever is when you're just outside and it's so quiet in the snow.
Last night I gotta send you the pictures, and I will. My phone's gonna die by the way, but I'm gonna send you the pictures. Um, the other night when we got the snow, she woke up in the morning and she's like, "Why are there footprints all over our property?" Well, yours truly got up at 3 o'clock in the morning, and it looked so nice outside that I decided to, throw some sneakers on and go be a photographer. So I took a bunch of pictures the other night, 3 o'clock in the morning, but I didn't shovel. Usually if I get a couple drinks, I feel like I have that liquid courage to be like, I'm gonna do this. And you do it or you don't. Um, you're gonna kill me, but I'm on 3% right now. So if you want to lead us out, or if you want to just wait till my phone dies and then I'm gonna drop it off abruptly, it's up to
Oh,
you.
That's funny. You know what I'll do is I'll mention just a couple other things. Cleaning your gutters before the first freeze, as it
Yeah.
says clogged gutters are the number one cause of ice dams. They
Really?
force water up into the shingles and down into the walls. For downspouts, and you want to make sure the water's away from the house, you want to attach downspout connectors. And that way the water, otherwise water can pool up, ice
Right.
up, and cause issues with your foundation. Burst pipe plumbing, we said leave the pipe dripping, installing a hose bib on the outside, disconnecting all the hoses. Your main shutoff, know where your main shutoff is in your house.
You know how many people don't? So
Know
many
where,
don't know where it is. Yep.
yep, find out where that is and do that. Thermostat minimums, don't be leaving your vacant places without a minimum on a thermostat. We've talked about it. One of my episodes, I walked in and it was a vacant house and it wasn't winterized, and I walked into a waterfall in the house.
Did I
That
tell
is
you about my first flip?
oh yes, you did. But go if you can before
It
you
didn't.
get
It didn't have a boiler, so we're working on it. I had power. I didn't need the heat. Right, we're working on it. We're working on it. Finally, I have the boiler put in, and we turn it on, and it kicks on, and it just started raining. There were burst pipes all over the ceiling. The whole fucking ceiling had to come down. I made a ham sandwich on that if I'm lucky, minus the
Yep.
cheese. I couldn't even afford the cheese after.
Yeah, that's awful. Yeah, that'll cause a problem.
No.
Sump pump checks, make sure when winter snow melts, can flood a basement faster than in a summer storm. So make sure that you're testing the sump pump. Reverse the fans, switching ceiling fans to run clockwise at low speeds. This creates an updraft that pushes the rising warm air back down into the living space.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, we've got CO2 detectors, which I've already talked on. Filter swaps. Swap out your filters. Your systems will run more efficiently in the winter. I could actually do that. I missed the last swap out. Um, we've got liability as a landlord. Make sure you've got your plowing contracts in place and shoveling, right? Make sure, like we have it in my leases, that the tenants are responsible to clear their own stairs and their path to their own car. But I get out there and I do usually take care of the whole driveway. But we are responsible. We have to have the postmen get to the mailboxes. We have to have the walkways in front of our houses plowed or shoveled, right? I'm gonna put this whole list up there, but I know we gotta go anyway, so I will lead us out, let everyone know where they can find us. We are the Legit Real Estate Podcast. You can email us your stories if you want or want to come on the show at the Legit Real Estate Podcast at gmail.com. I think we are finally up and running on all places that you can listen to podcasts. So please like, subscribe, follow, and especially on YouTube, Spotify, Amazon Music, so you can keep up with us. We are also on Facebook, and so far my Instagram account hasn't been deleted yet. So we are there too. So,
I'll send you pictures when my phone charges. It came out awesome.
all right. Have a great day.
Have a good day. Bye bye.
Thanks. Bye.